I just wanted to talk about an experience that I had going to the waste disposal dump, which is kind of an anomaly, for the past, well, 10 years, of course, or 20. I mean, we always try to think we would get the wood out of there. It's really atrocious what's happening there, actually. It's out of control. There's wood going there from, well, there's increased, fire abatement or whatever that the the fire department is being told, especially the Airbnb people, the new people, of course, nobody likes that term, but are being talked into chopping down their trees like massacre. I mean, it really was that organization's business, which is kind of a false organization, the Edison Company. They would rather have you just barren your yard with no trees at all, and because that covers their ass. But really, there's all kinds of organizations that are stricken with this agenda that says, take life away, don't give it to them anyway. God, what a terrible video. It's hardly even 1:30 seconds. I just wanted to talk about, well, we go to the dump and there it is. For years, I've just taken wood out, and some years they scold me about it, but then it loosens up, the hands change, and then it loosened up a lot. I actually asked them and they said, no, go ahead, we don't mind. And so I went to the dump today and I saw a woman who must have been 70 or 65, and I saw her picking out of a beautiful pile of pre-cut wood that somebody had just dropped there, and she's doing the same thing I do. She has a box, and I was so happy to see that, and she said, well, I ask them and it's here all the time, and we began to talk, and the main thing I noticed is that yeah, within just 30 seconds, I kind of acknowledged that she was there. I said, hey, I'm glad that somebody's able to do that. We're doing that because there's a lot of wood here, and yeah, something came up. I said, well, it's kind of ridiculous, the way that it's just kind of going out, and something, and then she just said, yeah, I want to move out of the country. I want to move out of the country. She has a really nice car and she's getting this wood, and I want to move out of the country. And I just busted up laughing because it's like I'm with her. And then we talked a little bit more about, well, yeah, look at how we can probably open up a little wood place here and intercept all this wood that gets thrown straight out. And atrocious what happens there. It should be. And I said, well, maybe women can do it or something like that. Just sign a waiver. They're always afraid of insurance or whatever. Just sign a waiver. Take care of yourself. But people need that fuel because it's their primary. It was her primary source of heat too, is what she's saying. And anyway, she and I told her, well, we should just sell out. Let's just sell out and get out of the country. And I don't know how hard that is for anybody to do that, but I don't think it's that hard. Just do it, right? Ah, but yeah, I thought it was just remarkable that she was there. She might as well be me in like 20 years or something, but really it's me now looking at me over there, and she's getting that wood, and she feels like she needs to move out of the country. She said, I want to move out of the country. Ask her what personally, like, why, so who knows, she could point at political party, but that's really, it's because, yeah, there's something lopsided happening, and I was just concerned. Anyway, thanks for listening to that. I was shocked, within 30 or a minute. She's just, I want to move out of the country. Well, getting back to that scene at the that it's called a transfer station, where right now there's a dumpster full of beautiful wood, and I'm gonna go ask them. Say, hey, if I sign a waiver, can I just jump in there and pull some pieces out for me if I really needed it, because it's a shutout out here to the public. Basically, that's private property right there, and people from private property are giving it to them. See, that's the thing, is that people are mixed up about public and private property, I'm pretty sure. You see, I'm a public person who has private property. I mean, I post these things on a forum that goes public, and it's public domain is where freedom of speech and also expression is exercised, perhaps, for what? Well, maybe it's an advertisement, mainly advertising, and I'm all for it. I have just been instructed by my higher ups and said now you're gonna get your brand together. The big thing is to get your brand together. Did you know that? Well, have you been branded yet? A lot of people are just branded already by what? Well, something came in and stamped them and they're patented and they're owned by, like George Carlin said, the government. They own you. And technically, it's through the vaccines where that has happened. Somehow, maybe you signed something, I don't know, but whoever does do that, technically, that's highly possible. When you give yourself away enough, they're gonna and let them alter you enough, they own you. So anyway, getting back to maybe some people don't do that as much. Um, they own themselves. They have their own brand, and I say yes, that's what I do have. It comes from just being me. I'm a human being. See, my brand comes with also logos. I mean, you have to write and advertise it, and it's there already. It's like human. Well, the E is silent at the end. I'll capitalize it. It looks like humane, and then we start forming documents in accordance to like, well, what are you selling? Well, I'm just selling um, love, love. No, I just got another view of Roxanne. She doesn't have to turn on the red light. Those days are over. We're not talking about our bodies here. We're talking about a state of being, subtle. Every body could be there, but do they achieve this state of becoming human? I say very few do on this plane, and maybe my brand offers a look into not only the possibility that that's what we're supposed to be doing here, and just look like what is the human being's world like? Well, it's already here if you look at it, and we're kind of being capitalized on, and we should charge. Should charge. First of all, nobody's free here. We already know that. The human being, especially, we are actually being charged for our work, but we have to charge for the work we give. It's weird. It's like, well, when does that end? Is there some way? Because, well, the reason why I sound weary like that is because a lot of the stuff is, well, it wastes your time royally. It can really wear on your health. You don't know a single I mean, you're either mentally shot, you're spiritually shot, or you're physically shot by the time you're done making money and you've reached the goal to have a big bank account. You're either morally fucking disasterized, or yeah, your body is shot from having sat in a chair. Uh, and does it work? Has it worked? Gosh, oh, mighty. Come on, people. Get real. This is more people that don't have money than they do, and I didn't, I just feel all the paranoia of some people that have just a little bit of money, especially about Jesus. Do you like Jesus? No. You like for it to be something that, well, they took care of that, stab on it, fucking shish kebab it. That's your guys' version of something that I would keep it away from the kids myself until because look at that scene. The Holy Gospel does not involve that. No, what Jesus was talking about was it's just a 8-page pamphlet. Love was that person's name, and it was like, oh, this is simple, but you people are really complicating things up. Why? Uh, what is the root of all evil? Well, it's not really money; it's the mind. And if you start really trying to defend the mind, then you're going to need some help, right? But why not enslave people to it instead? Just make them think, well, no, this is a great idea, isn't it? Well, you can't do that unless there's extreme amount of abuse, and that's what we see. But that's been kind of brushed over, right? I mean, we just the farther we go into creating generations into this place, we forget about wars, right? But then what if it's just a constant war? How is that happening? Comment section down below. Do you think that there's a war to end all wars, or does that mean that it's actually that doesn't make any sense? You know what I mean? You have to war to end all war. Well, when does that war against war end? And what is the war really? I mean, I don't know if it's natural state to always have war. It's kind of the same as like, well, yes, once we end the war, that means there's a one world army. But who is the army against there? I mean, God. And then there you go. People say staying safe. People staying safe. Now, did I just say there's a war against people staying safe? Not really. But the people staying safe are definitely at war um, uh, with something, right? This is something that we can talk about maybe. Do narcissists have their own conversation? Do they live fearlessly enough to even conjure one up? It's not looking like so, not really. And you can gain confidence because you know what? There is a foundation there that's sitting there going, man, somebody has to step up, right? Somebody needs to step up. We need leaders. We need to first identify the leaders. Now, who are our leaders? Jesus. Yeah, the nature of a leader. I'll take it over. God, I can't do this ventriloquism anymore. The nature of a leader is not such a very you don't nobody has the balls or the wings is what I mean I guess um to to just be up ahead a few miles and see which way to go, but more like to be sacrificed um because somebody else is going to get it on down the line, kind of like that. Just to be the first one to do something that everybody steals it from them. But it's, see, I was contemplating the very most regal part of the Aries, the adventurer, the ones that are the leaders, a true leader. See, we're always having to be forgiving of those that are afraid and they act out of fear and they lash out at us because it seems they can't handle something new or something like that, right? And so there's a lot of backlash that they have to take. But then it's like later, it's like, oh yeah, okay. You always see those kind of movies where it's like later on they reward the underdog, so called, because really, uh, that person was just trying to defend other people that were folded under and doing something that maybe they were hypnotized by some kind of thing there, their false education, or their just not being able to get away. Maybe you're miserable and don't know it. Maybe you're so miserable that, hey, I'm not saying I'm not, and of course I'm going to make the changes that will help me feel better. And all you do is just rise above the shallows, or what I mean is rise above the funk, right? The funk, the world, rise above the world, because the world is like, it is so weird. Have you figured it out yet? I did. I hope that I can meet my people really. Like that woman at the dump. I was dead serious. Find more women if they're all women and they live up here. And I find a lot of women own their homes up here. But why don't they get together and do they? Comment section down below if you're a local person and you know what I mean. I'm not saying to start a pure do against men thing. Not at all. Not really. But are men putting together something like who would help us put together the thing? Because we need wood. And if it's a woman speaking, it's like, yeah, whatever, get a man. It's like, no, fuck you. I see an opportunity to get a bunch of wood. I know how to cut wood better than men. I'm sorry, I do. A lot of men will say, damn, you did nothing but get shit done. It's like, because I don't drink beer. I came here to get shit done. We don't have time to fuck around. A woman is not fucking around with their minds. They're in their body. They get leverage in a way that's very real. And if they do something physical, you better watch out because they're going to wax a fucking man. I hate to say it. I mean, they're giving birth right there. God, Jesus, are they coming after you too? Yep. 3 little boys coming after me down my driveway, and I told them, you know what? I am a woman, and I'm actually one of your leaders because I'm sensitive enough to know when something is wrong, or something needs to be changed, or something is unfair, or something is just self-organization, and that's what a human being is capable of. That's my brand, and I'm sticking to it. Call it love itself.